name is Mark and welcome to my channel. Join me all year round, week in, week out, come rain or shine, and together we'll be fishing for pleasure. Hello troops, welcome back to the show. Here we go, quick fire video, how to convert those runs on circle hooks to fish on the bank. How I go about setting them hooks and getting that fish in. I did promise a subscriber that I'd run through how I convert me single circle hook runs into fish on a bank, how I wind down, how I play them, etc. The rule of thumb is you have to wind down with a circle hook into the fish rather than striking. So plus using a single hook and a single bait, it's hooked through one part of the body only, isn't it? I use the snout all the time. Some people use their circle hooks through the back, just by the dorsal fin there. Some trim the tail with scissors and have the hook in the base of the tail. Whatever way you have it hooked, then you've got to think about what the pike is doing with your bait, and the size of your bait and size of your hook. It all comes into play. So what happens is, with my smaller baits, I'll get a run, I get down to the rod, I'll wait to see if that run develops, because sometimes they hit your bait and then drop it, or they toy with it. They don't always hit it and run with it straight away. Now if I was fishing with trebles and I got down to the water and the float was still going, I would wind down and strike my trebles. Chances are one of those trebles will be in the pike's mouth and you'll set the hooks. The problem you have with a single hook, a circle hook, is it might not be in the fish's mouth. And if you wind down, you're just winding into thin air, you're just pulling it out the bait, and the pike, Mrs. or Mr. Pike swims off with a nice freebie. So you've actually got to wait. If it's a bigger bait, you've actually got to wait for that pike to pick that bait up, turn it round and start swallowing it. Now, I've been using single circle hooks for 3 years now, haven't had a deep hook fish once. There'll be people screaming, well, you've got to hit them straight away. Well, no, you don't. If you've got a 4-inch, 5-inch dead bait and the hook is in the snout, and that fish picks it up and it's swimming away like that, you're pulling your hook into thin air, fresh air. You're never going to land a fish. And it took me a long time to get a little system going whereby I convert most of my runs now. Not always, it's single hooks, you're not always going to convert them. So with the bigger baits, that initial run and it stops and the float will go. Then it will go again. When it goes again, I tighten my clutch off, because I have those instant clutches. So I tighten the clutch off almost tight, and then the top of the rod will start bending. Your tip of your rod will go like that. If your tip of your rod bends in, that means at least the pike has hold of the fish. Now you still don't know whether that's fish is in the pike's mouth completely or not. But you can't wait forever. So once I get that bend in that rod, I'll wind slowly at a different angle to the fish is going. So if the fish is going away from me, I'll have the rod at 45 degrees. Or I might have it up 45 degrees. You know, just get it so it's an angle between your tip of your rod and the pike. Because what happens is, pike takes it, that's the hook. You're pulling the hook like that, and it will catch in the scissor of the pike swimming away, and you know you've got it then. The smaller baits, if I'm using a small roach or whatever on a paternostered rig, there's no waiting, there's no messing around. They go, you go down, you wind into it and you're in. They really do hit them hard, and they're only small baits, so you know, if it's a decent sized pike, boom, got it. Obviously if it's a jack, you might miss the run, but on the whole nowadays I catch more then I lose. But you won't say that if you saw my last video though. 3 runs, 3 zeros. So hopefully we'll get a run this afternoon, and I'll run through it with you with the camera rolling, and I'll show you exactly how I play it. Right, trying to set a circle hook. What I do is I wait for a run to develop. That float is still going down. See, I haven't tightened my clutch off yet. I slowly get it, and I wait because you've got to wait for them single hooks to be in the pike's mouth. So I'm letting it go, and when it really races away with it, I will use the angle of the rod tip compared to the angle the fish is running at, and I'll gently wind down. And don't wind down too fast because I don't like the hook to pull out of the mouth. Slowly taking that away, and it hasn't run away with it. Gently toying with it. I'll slowly wind. You'll feel resistance from the fish. You'll see the tip of that rod pinging. That's the resistance of the fish. So hopefully that roach is in the fish's mouth. Very slow. And you can see the float in the top left hand by the reeds slowly disappearing. I've not wound down hard yet. I gently take the pressure up, tighten the clutch up, and I move the rod away. Look, there you can see the bend in the rod, the resistance. Then I change the angle and wind down into the fish, and it's hooked. Then it's just a case of playing it, getting it into the landing net safely. So just to recap, I tightened off the clutch, moved the rod to the right hand side. When that tip bent round, I lifted the rod up and wound down into the fish. So I've got a different angle to the fish was moving, so that hook would go into the scissors. And look at her, she's angry. And now she's on the mat, and you can see that hook, look, in the scissor, unhooked by hand. Covered in leeches and lice, but we're off the mark. Lovely colours, lovely dark greens on that. Beautiful looking fish. Woohoo! We're off and running. Look at that. What a cracker. What a beauty. We're going to get this girl back now. Get that bait back out there. We're off and running. And here's a second example. The fish is coming towards me fast, so what I do is I keep the rod straight, take up the slack, and then I move the rod to the side. Now it's hooked. Now it's hooked already. I just took up the slack, moved the hook to the side, a different angle of the rod, and it was hooked. And it's just a case again of playing it. You get that rush of adrenaline when it's going, but just wait. Tighten your clutch up if you have a clutch. Wind down slowly till you feel the pressure. Once you feel the pressure, then you have to move that rod tip away from the fish direction. Different angle, create a different angle and then wind down and you'll hook it. I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10, but most of the time you will. And look at that lovely angry pike coming to the net. And you can see from unhooking, look, so what I've got to do is move that around, undo by hand. Well troops, second one of the trip, same rod again. Paternostered roach, 3 to 4 ounces. Another beautiful coloured, ooh, lively. Another beautiful coloured fish. Plenty of greens there, plenty of leeches on it. Here's the mug shot. Very sunny. There we go, there he is. She, look at her, she's a big girl. Not as big as I'd like, but... And here we have a different scenario again. Look at the rod tip, it's dead straight. There's no pressure there at all, so I'm winding down slowly. The fish is coming towards me fast. There you see that? There's the tip of the rod springing round. So again, I changed the direction. I lifted that rod up and allowed the momentum of the fish to hook itself. I didn't even wind down on that time. I allowed the momentum from the fish running towards me. I tightened up just so there was enough pressure in that rod to cause the tip to move around, and I lifted the rod up gently and it hooked. The fish basically hooked itself with that circle hook that time. And again, another one to the net. And again, look, hook position outside of the mouth, in the scissor, pliers, one flick, hook is out. We got one. And finally, to recap, you can see me here, I get down to the rod. The alarm's going a little bit. I'm looking, I'm checking, picking up my rod. Now you can hear the clutch go, you can hear the fish taking line, you can hear that clutch going. Still got time to get me net, get down to the water's edge. And look, I've not wound down yet, I'm still watching. You can hear the line being taken, so the fish is clearly swimming away from me at speed with the bait in its mouth. So I take up the slack. You see that bend in that rod? You see that bend? That's when I know there's enough pressure there, and I lift it gently. The momentum of the fish swimming away and the different angle I've created, basically it hooks itself. That circle hook works its way out the fish's mouth into the scissor and it's hooked. And all I've got to do is play it now. Of course, that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? You're not always going to guarantee you're going to land a fish once it's hooked, but that fish is hooked. I'm going to play it, I'm going to play it gently, and I'm going to bring it to the net. There's no doubts that's on. It's not holding on to the bait for dear life, which sometimes can happen. You know, you get the fish closer to the bank and wallop, it lets go. So just to recap, troops, I really do appreciate you watching. If you are watching this, I hope it's been informative. I hope if you're going to be using circle hooks, this is giving you some sort of insight on how to play them, how to convert those runs into landed fish, because it can be difficult, it can be hard. You miss a lot of runs at first, and there's this one, look, come into the net. It's landed, and there we go, look at that. We're going to have another pike on the bank, another run converted. So as I said, I really do appreciate you watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you are using and experimenting with circle hooks, don't wind down too hard. Create an angle from the rod tip to the pike's direction of travel and wind down slowly. And hopefully you'll be smiling like me there with a big pike on the bank. Thanks for watching, troops. I really do appreciate it. Tight lines, and I'll see you real soon.